Other questions from board members? Ben?
Yeah, just a follow-up on, and again, I compliment you again on making safety. When you came in, you said safety is your number one priority, and I compliment you. And this task force that's working on it, will we hear from them, not only external, but internal process, which I've been pushing since I've been on the board, that it must be fixed? It's not a good internal system we have. That's on the preventable, non-preventable accident boards, the safety committees. They need a lot of work on it.
Yeah, and I would just note that the task force has looked at these and will continue to look at these. I'm obviously not, they haven't written the recommendations, so I don't know what the recommendations would be, but this has been a topic that they have definitely addressed.
Yeah, they're not only looking outside, but they're looking inside, right? The whole process that we have.
And they did spend quite a bit of time with the National Safety Council expert who drafted that report. Wonderful meeting back and forth, addressing all the recommendations, which included some improvements, as you know, to those internal procedures, Board Member Lerbach. And so they're very up to speed on that.
Well, I don't mean to prolong it. Most of that goes by telephone rather than that man being here. This is the guy you talked about in Florida.
No, this is the person that conducted the top-to-bottom safety review.
He came here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's been here quite regularly.
Is that K&J? Is that K&J? It's K&J. Yes. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Neil, one question.
Yes.
Back to the distracted operator. And I apologize if I'm just missing your presentation. But what type of disciplinary action was recommended for that operator?
That's still under review. So the way this works is that we do a fact-finding hearing or meeting, if you will, and that was conducted on the day after the event. The facts are then collected. We then schedule a meeting with the employee and his union representative, and that has been scheduled, but it hasn't been held as of this moment. So not at liberty to discuss the outcome of that until we have that conversation.
Okay. Thanks.
If I may, a quick question about Portland and Milwaukee. In our engineering report update, the timelines, it mentions a variety of things except for a final board action. When would this board make its final swing? When are we up to bat?
Well, I think the primary answer to that would be November, and that's when the actions of the board would be required to move the project ahead. And there'd be a whole series of actions associated with that.
Just we add that to that, it just gives us a little more stake in the process. The other relates to safety, and if I may, this is another Steve Clarkism, but it seems like this is not only a responsibility but an opportunity. Neil was kind enough to send multiple pages of recommended considerations and where we are. Some are pending, some are in place already, and then it dealt with what is going to be our commitment, what's going to be our financial investment of dollars or staff and so forth. And I know you have a plan to act that out. I think it'd be interesting for staff, and you're probably already in the way of doing this, to provide for the board after or along with our citizen group is a strategy that shows both those issues or actions, priority that you and the committee seek to give these, a timeline, a funding requirement, sort of an action required, just little bullets, and then what would be the outcome and the accountability. The last thing I think the accountability is essential. The public is asking us not only to be more safe, and that's a requirement, but there's an opportunity that we create this atmosphere throughout the Portland region, but not only on TriMet buses, but on sidewalks, on bicycle lanes, on how we drive. And so we could gain this momentum of creating a safer overall community. We could lead that way by having these priority steps, priorities, costs, outcomes, and how we communicate to the public and hold ourselves to be accountable, at least within TriMet, very transparent. And by doing that, I think we could gain staff involvement and efficiencies, board involvement in terms of helping you make priority decisions. Maybe we could get grants from the federal government or the state. Maybe we could have nonprofits step up to say, we're going to invest with you. And then we'll have a community that say that I'm going to ride TriMet in greater safety. I'm going to walk or bike or whatever in greater safety. And I think this is not only a requirement but an opportunity. Now, I'm sure you have a strategy to seek this through, but I think that should be something that the board could participate in and help to achieve.
Would fully agree. I think there are a number of building blocks that build to that ultimate strategy, and I do believe that you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, there's a comprehensive strategy that involves not just TriMet actions, but also actions of others, partner governments or partner institutions. For example, we've had lots of conversations with the Bicycle Transportation Alliance about programs around the country that have been educational both for bus drivers and operators as well as bike riders. And so, as we know, we need a safe public to interact with. So, absolutely. What I would expect is that the task force recommendations will be one building block. The top-to-bottom safety review recommendations and their status another, and that needs to be, and you're right, folded into a draft strategy, if you will, that would be something that we want to review with the board.
Do you think, given that we have a budget cycle that effectively begins next July, and that we have things to do right now, that could we see some kind of a draft by the December board meeting as an example, so that it is a priority? I mean, we want to consciously take this.
I would believe December would be a fair timeline for that.
Other questions of the general manager?